Hello, I'm Kathy Jameson, the Proposition Lady. Today I'm going to review the results of the November 2024 election. As it relates to propositions, let's dive right in and start with Props 2 and 4, two $10 billion bonds to fund education and climate infrastructure. Both passed, Prop 2 with 58.7% in support and Prop 4 with 59.8% in support. Once the bonds are sold, these measures will add another $20 billion to California's debt load, but they will also improve school conditions and help protect Californians from the effects of climate change. If you're interested in how money is spent once bonds are sold, check out the California Bond Accountability website. You can also track Prop 4 more specifically on the California Natural Resources Agency website. Both links are in the show notes. Let's turn to Prop 3, which passed with 62.6% of voters in favor. Prop 3 guarantees the right to marry for same-sex couples in California. Same-sex marriage could still be banned at the federal level, but if that happens, my wife and I will at least be protected at the state level. Turning now to Prop 5, we find that 55% of voters rejected the idea of making it easier for local governments to take on large debt to fund infrastructure. Currently, if a local government wants to issue infrastructure bonds, they need 66.67% voter approval, also known as a supermajority. If Prop 5 had passed, that threshold would have dropped to 55%. This shows that Californians are still committed to the tax protections afforded by Prop 13, at least for now. I think I was most surprised by the rejection of Prop 6, which failed with only 46.7% of voter approval. Prop 6 would have made prison labor voluntary rather than mandatory, and might have resulted in inmates earning more money for the work they perform. Involuntary servitude as punishment for crime has been banned in traditionally conservative states like Alabama, Utah, and Tennessee, and in traditionally liberal states like Oregon and Vermont. But it didn't pass in California. That could be because there wasn't enough funding for advertisements. Maybe Californians didn't really understand the issue. Or maybe, just maybe, it signals that Californians might be moving more to the right in their viewpoints. Another surprising result was the failure of Prop 32, which would have raised the minimum wage to $18 per hour by 2026. The vote was close, with 49.3% of voter approval. Without Prop 32, the minimum wage will be $17 per hour by 2026, only $1 difference. But it failed. It may be that after a few years of high inflation, Californians were just too nervous about the risk of business owners raising prices to cover the cost of higher wages. Bad timing? Or again, maybe the failure of Prop 32 signals a shift in California's liberalism. Let's turn to Prop 33, which was the AIDS Healthcare Foundation's third attempt in 8 years to allow local governments to enact rent control policy. Like their last attempts in 2018 and 2020, Prop 33 also failed by a wide margin, with 60% of voters rejecting it. Prop 33 was opposed by the California Apartment Association, which represents landlords. They spent almost $100 million to defeat it. In addition, the CAA spent around $36 million to fund Prop 34, which targets the AIDS Healthcare Foundation and could make it more difficult for them to fund ballot measures in future. Prop 34 passed, just barely, with 50.9% voter approval. It's possible that voters think money earned through the federal drug discount program should only be spent on healthcare. It's also possible that voters are mad at the AHF for sponsoring so many ballot measures. I can't say for sure, but since it's unconstitutional to enact laws that target a single organization, I'm sure the AHF will challenge Prop 34 in court. Just 2 props left. Prop 35 sought to earmark funds from the tax on managed care organizations to fund California's Medi-Cal program. Prop 35 passed by a wide margin, with 67.9% voter approval. This means that the next time we have a budget shortfall, this Medi-Cal funding stream will be protected from cuts. The only measure that passed with more support was Prop 36, which was supported by 68.4% of voters. Prop 36 represents a fundamental shift in California's approach to criminal justice, taking a more punitive approach to theft and drug crimes. It also creates a new class of felony called a treatment-mandated felony, which leverages the threat of prison to get substance abusers into rehab. Will it work as intended and result in lower property crime rates across the state? Or will it return us to the era of mass incarceration? Or both? It will be years before we know for sure. That's all for 2024. I'll be back in 2026 to help you sort out the next crop of props. In the meanwhile, you can see my kitties on Instagram at the Prop Lady Lounge, or on Blue Sky in my Christmas Kitties account. Thank you all for watching and supporting my channel. I'm Kathy Jameson, the Proposition Lady, and I appreciate you being here with me today. See you soon, California voters. Bye now!